a rehearsal by the two main characters now performing in Madama Butterfly. This opera is a heartbreaker, a tale of romance and betrayal. Next weekend, there will be two showings in Milwaukee of this famous opera, starring an international singing sensation. Please welcome Alyson Cambridge, the soprano who's going to play the role of Cio-Cio? How do you say it?
Cio-Cio-San.
Cio-Cio. Okay, I knew I was not going to get that right. The show's other main character, me and my opera knowledge, is tenor Eric Berry, who plays Lieutenant Pinkerton. That one was
You got that one
easy.
right. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
This is a huge deal to have you both here, but also you as well. You're an international sensation.
Oh,
People who are especially into opera and have seen you here before in Milwaukee are probably really excited that you're back, because this is your second or third time being in Milwaukee.
This is my second time being with Florentine Opera Company. I was here 2 seasons ago for La Bohème, and that was my debut with Florentine Opera, so it's really great to be back. I love this town and to be singing with this company again.
It's so exciting. What makes you choose to come back for a company like Florentine? Because I think a lot of times people think, you know, we're Milwaukee. How are the arts here? And to know that an international sensation like you would come to Milwaukee again and again to our opera, I think means a lot to our city.
Absolutely. Well, one of the greatest appeals for me about this town and about this company is really how it's all run. And when I came here for Bohème, the general director, William Florescu, he heard me in our first day of Bohème rehearsal, and he said, you know, Alyson, I hear something in your voice. It's changed a bit. Would this role interest you? And we began speaking about Madama Butterfly, and it's always been a dream of mine to play this role. And so when the opportunity came for me to make my debut in this role with this company, I immediately jumped at the chance.
Well, we're glad that you're here, and you did jump at that chance. And you're no chump either. You're pretty fantastic yourself.
I'm a chump too, but yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the story of Madama Butterfly for people who, you know, love opera or those who are new to it. How would you describe it?
Well, I would say that it's a love story, and it's tragedy and it's drama, and it's just wonderful. It's one of the most performed operas ever, and we're the two lead characters, and I'm a lieutenant, and I come to find Cio-Cio-San and marry her temporarily, and we have a lovely night, and she has our child, but I leave for a real wife in the Americas, and come back and realize that I have a son and didn't know it. And it's pretty dramatic. I'm not going to give the ending away because we want people to come see the show, but it's beautiful music, and we've got a great cast and a great crew.
And how does your character feel about this whole love story?
Oh my goodness! Well, she's smitten from the beginning. She's a 15-year-old geisha.
Well, look at him.
And this strapping man comes into town and wants to marry her, and she thinks it's all pure and real. And so when he leaves and goes back to the States, and she's left and has a child, he's gone for 3 years, and everybody in her world says he's not coming back. He's not coming back, and she stays true, and she said, no, I believe he is coming back. And then when he does, and he arrives with his new American wife, it absolutely crushes her. And again, I won't give away the ending, but it really is a heartbreaking story, and it is about love and about sacrifice. And Puccini writes the greatest, most sweeping melodies of any opera composer, in my personal opinion. So even if you don't know what all the words were saying, you're going to be swept up with the music, for sure.
Do you think teenagers and young adults can learn to love and enjoy opera and really get into it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I went to my first opera when I was young. I was about 11 or 12 years old. And I would say that I really got an appreciation, though, for it later in my teenage years, and then when I went to college, and when I got to experience sort of behind the scenes and got to know other singers, I realized, oh, this is actually a really cool, fun art form. And there's something for it in opera for everybody to enjoy.
And just because you love opera doesn't mean that you don't have other musical aspirations. You just released your jazz album.
It's going to be released actually in January. We just signed with a wonderful label. And it's all jazz, crossover, musical theater, and those were my musical influences outside of opera. Some pop covers. I do a Sting cover actually on there. And so, yeah, I think it's great. I think what a lot of people don't realize is that as opera singers, we actually are diverse people musically, and we do have other interests outside of that, so it's nice to share that.
Speaking of, are you really a pro golfer?
Yeah, I started playing with Mizuno about a year ago. I'm a sponsored golfer with Mizuno Golf, and I do it really in my spare time, and I made that clear up front. And you know, there's not a whole lot of spare time in this business because we do a lot of traveling, but I do get to play every now and then, and we'll actually be traveling right after this gig to Turkey to play in the International World Cup there.
Do you sing like hole in one?
Actually, whenever I will from now on. Whenever I signed with Mizuno, they wanted me to do this big PR thing, and so I was on a golf course, which is typically, you know, you're very quiet,
right?
You know, and they said, okay, now sing something, and I'm on this putting green. I'm like, I am not going to sing anything right here. And like, please, I'm like, okay. And of course, all these golfers start turning around on the tee boxes, and then you hear from like all around, you know, all the different holes. It's a lot of fun.
It's so
great.
cool.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I hope people come out and watch you guys perform. You two have such a great chemistry and energy about you. I think it's going to be a phenomenal show. People can meet you tomorrow night. You've got to meet the artist event in River West. That's going on, but you got to get to these shows because there's only 2 performances here with the Florentine. Friday, October 16th at 7:30. There's a dinner at 5:15 prior. Then Sunday, the 18th at 2:30 with a luncheon at the Marcus Center at 12:30 before that. You can learn more, get your tickets at florentineopera.org, but definitely go and check it out for those 2 performances. It's a big deal that you guys are here doing this, so very excited. Thanks for being here in the Blend.
Of course.
Thanks
Our
for having
pleasure.
us.
Appreciate it.